Hey friends, Kevin Goehring here, your Sacramento, Stockton area realtor and lender here with this week's weekly real estate report. Now, I always say your Stockton, Sacramento area realtor and lender, but gotta be honest, my area is pretty big. Right now, I've got stuff going on in Valley Springs, Lincoln, Plumas Lake, Modesto, Manteca. I've even had some listings down in Los Angeles, but nobody wants to hear about all that every time I come on. Hey, you're Los Angeles to Sacramento to whatever. Anyway, hey, some good news this week. You know, every week I come on and I usually talk about something that I've heard on talk radio that is really kind of getting me some falsehoods, something bothering me that I want to tell you guys about. I found a cure for that. Podcasts. Who knew, right? So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I guess I don't have anything to complain about this week. So having said that, why don't we go over and take a look at the chart? So, hey, this is what's going on this week. Now, first thing I want to look at right here is the yellow line. I had a little surprise right there. Things kind of pop back up. Wasn't really expecting that to happen. Now, I still have to wait and see what the data really comes in at for this week. This is just a preliminary number. Like I always say, we'll see next week. But, you know, last week it kind of stayed about the same. So we'll see if this number actually goes up or down. Now I put a bunch of blue arrows on here, and what I'm showing you right here is what does it normally look like around the end of October? And if we go back through the years, I've done that so you can see it real easy, because right now we're seeing kind of this plateau of pending sales with a little bit of dip right there. So what normally happens? Now, if you've been listening, I do tend to say that what tends to happen is that when the rain comes, that home prices tend to start falling because fewer and fewer people go out shopping for homes. So guess what happened last weekend? The rain came out. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition or not. But what normally happens? Well, we look back a year ago, off a cliff right there. Of course, last year was, kind of a strange year. Normally, we're well into kind of a decline in the pending sales this time of year, but you can see right here, going back 2019, 2018, in the middle of the downturn already, go back a little bit more, again, middle. So usually by now, we're well into the middle of kind of seeing the pending sales fall off. And of course, you can look at it and see, well, where does it start to pick up again? And that's going to be around the first of the year, usually after the first of the year. Right here we go. Yeah. 1/1 of 2015. We can go back this way. 1/7 of 16 turns around. 12/29, almost the first of the year. So as soon as we hit the first of the year, boom, starts going back up. Now, something interesting to note here. So we've had this plateau of available homes with a little bit of downturn this week. But, think about this right here at around 3,500 homes, just looking at the charts, more like 3,200. This right here, the peak that we're seeing is sort of equivalent to the drop or the bottom of the market that we normally see. So we've climbed all the way out of this trough and we've come up to where we are basically even with the bottom of some of the troughs that we see throughout the year. So this is the normal low where we're at, and we're seeing a high. So I'd love to see that kind of plateau out and then come January 1, see it start to climb. So when are we going to expect to see it climb? Well, March, we'll see it start to come up in March. And over here, we're going to see it, oh, look at that, end of March. Start to see it here. Well, back here a little bit, March, April, is going to see it start to climb up. So we're still going to see it fall down for another 2 months or so, and then we're going to see it climb back up. And let's hope that because we're starting here, that doesn't go down too far, and that the inventory does climb quite a bit. Now, the number one question I'm getting right now is, what do I think the market's going to do? Because prices are very inflated, and there is this potential with our market that what we could end up seeing is a market bubble burst. Now, I will say that there are a lot of people that say that there is going to be a bubble burst, and well, eventually there will be a market correction. So they are 100% correct. Eventually it will. Eventually rates will go up. Eventually they'll go back down. All right, we've talked about this before. It's like if we could predict the future, then probably real estate isn't the game, be a high stakes market or something like that, making money off your magic 8 ball. But to answer the question, where do I think it's going to go? Well, I keep saying I don't think that we're going to see this sudden, rapid crash, especially at the bottom end homes. And I hate to say bottom end when I'm really talking about $400,000 or $500,000 homes. It sounds crazy to call that the bottom end, but that's really where your first time home buyer market is. One of the things to watch for, and I haven't talked about this before, so here's a big secret for you. Condos. Condos are a good gauge of the economy. Condos are the last thing to gain value and the first thing to drop value. And why is that? Because when I talk to the typical home buyer, especially a first-time home buyer, and I ask them, what do you want? They always say the same thing. And this is illogical. It's a good thing to say, Kevin, we would like, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, yard. And well, that doesn't describe a condo. And of course, like I said the other day, usually the number one thing is we like a little, fixer-upper on some land. But for those living in the city, certainly, or most people default to that. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, decent yard, 2-car garage. Okay, so condo is not. So when you're shopping for a home and then you get to the point where there are no 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, 2-car garage available, now then they start getting rid of, okay, well, maybe a 3-1, okay, maybe a 2-1. And when we get down to that, it's like, okay, none of this is affordable. So, all right, I guess we'll look at a condo. And don't get me started on condos. I have a lot of opinions about condos of not being the best investment out there. I will usually talk people out of it if I can, unless it fits your lifestyle. And for this reason. So people go towards condos. And then you see the condos start to inflate. All right. Then as soon as home prices come down, well, everybody, they want the 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They don't want a condo. So everybody leaves the condo market and goes back to the house market. So now the condos over here, they have no buyers. So it's got to be a really low price to attract any buyers. So now I've seen the market where, now we're getting into home buyers who can afford $100,000 or even $50,000 of becoming homeowners because they can afford a condo because they're so low. So you can watch condos go up and down with that. That's one thing to see. But so back to this, I for the long time, I think that this market is going to stay high on the bottom end because there's so many people wanting to buy. So I think that's going to prop up that bottom end market. I think we're going to see the top end market start to suffer more before we see anything else. But here's what I really want to point out. When I look at the last market crash we had, and having been in the industry during that time, what happened was so sudden and so shocking that it caught everybody off guard. And, for those of us that had a lot of listings, it was very painful because we would have to call our clients and say, look, hey, I know that we have your house listed at $400,000 and I know that you think it was worth $420 or $410, but we came in at this $400 because it's kind of a declining market. But I got to be honest with you, you need to drop to $380. You need to do a $20,000 price drop this week. Yes, I know we just did a price drop last week. You got to get under this market. That market, when it turned, it went so fast that you had to, wherever your house value was or the average value was, you had to get under it to get buyers to come look at your house. It had to be such a good deal that they wouldn't pass it up. So we were doing price reductions of $20,000, $50,000 or more to get them sold. And for those people that didn't take the advice, what happened is, your house is worth this right here. And they'd say, okay, we'll drop down to here. Then the house would drop and they go, oh, okay, we'll drop again. And it would drop, hit the mic. It would just keep dropping and they would stay above the whole time until they would just drop down and lose $100,000 or more of what they could have sold it for. And of course, I don't want to say it, but my thought was, if you would have listened to me up front when I said drop by 20 instead of staying 10 above every single time, we could have sold this house and you could have made a lot more money. So I just want to say that the market can change and it can change real fast, scary fast. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will, especially on the first-time home buyer priced homes. So what about rates? That's going to play a big part in this. Rates went up again. So this is the third week in a row rates have gone up. Average Freddie Mac rate now is 3.14% with 0.7 of a point on the 30-year fixed loan product. So rates are inching up. That means that buyers' monthly payment is going up, which means that their buying power is going down, which means that home prices typically start to follow that down if we start losing some buyers. But we have a lot of buyers, so we can the market can afford to lose some and probably keep prices where they are. So that's what's happening this week in real estate. I hope to see you guys here hopefully next week. And I am going off on a big trip. Hope to be doing this from the road, or should I say kind of from the air, because I'm taking the airplane. So anyway, big trip coming up for me. I'll keep you informed and hope to see you here next week. Take care. Bye.